Hi there. This is training for appointed election observers, produced by the North Carolina State Board of Elections. This training is designed to help observers understand what they will see at the voting site. This presentation cannot cover every scenario that could occur. It is designed to address what the vast majority of observers will experience at the polls. Observers must check in with the chief judge when they arrive at the voting site. The chief judge will verify the observer's identity and may ask for photo ID. This is to ensure that only authorized people are in the voting place. The chief judge may also ask the observer to sign a log sheet that keeps track of who has entered and exited the voting place. By law, every observer must wear an identification badge that identifies their role, observer, and their appointing party. This is to make voters and election officials aware of the observer's role in the voting place. The chief judge will supply these badges to all observers. Let's look at what you will see at the polls. Here is the area outside the voting site. The buffer zone is an area extending to 25 to 50 feet from the entrance to the voting place, where no campaigning can take place. The buffer zone includes the inside of the voting site. The buffer zone exists so voters can freely access the voting place without intimidation or harassment. Campaigners should be outside the buffer zone, providing information to voters. Often, the county board will establish a designated area for campaigning that is just outside the buffer zone. The curbside voting location is where voters who are unable to enter the voting site without assistance may vote from their vehicle. The buffer zone extends 6 feet from the curbside voter's vehicle. Let's take a look inside the voting place. You will see voter check-in, where the poll worker asks the voter for name, address, and photo ID. The voter will sign an authorization to vote form. You will see the ballot station. This is where the poll worker retrieves the correct ballot for that voter and provides instructions for the voter to complete the ballot. You will see the help station where voters are sent if there is an issue with their registration or photo ID. Provisional voting is conducted at the help station. You will see voting booths, where voters complete their ballots, either on a paper ballot or on a ballot marking device that prints a completed ballot. You will see ballot tabulators at the exit station, where voters cast their completed ballot and then exit the voting site. Before voting begins, poll workers will be working to prepare the site for voting. Observers are allowed to witness the following parts of this process. 1. When poll workers open the voting system, powering on and configuring the tabulators and ballot marking devices. 2. When poll workers examine the ballots for accuracy, typically determining that they have the correct ballot styles for that precinct. 3. When poll workers examine the tabulators to ensure there is a zero balance, or for early voting, the previous day's end count. Who is inside the voting place? 1 chief judge and 2 judges of election. Election assistants. Voters, possibly with minor children. Observers. Persons assisting a voter. Rules about voter assistance. State law, General Statute 163-166.8. allows a voter to receive assistance moving through the voting site and filling out their ballot according to their wishes. Any voter can get assistance from a near relative. A disabled or illiterate voter can get assistance from someone they choose, except not from their employer or union. Illiteracy includes inability to read English. The voter must confirm to the poll worker that they need assistance from the person who accompanies them. Poll workers may provide assistance, upon request. Assistance cannot influence how the voter fills out their ballot. Poll workers must keep a log of people 18 or older who assist voters inside the voting place. Let's look at curbside voting. A voter will park in the marked curbside voting area. A poll worker will assist voters with checking in at their vehicle. The poll worker will go inside to officially check in the voters and retrieve their ballots and take them to the voters. Voters mark their ballots. The poll worker takes the voted ballots to be cast in the tabulator. Let's look at closing the polls. All voters in line at closing time may vote a regular ballot. At the end of Election Day, poll workers will close the polls on the tabulators, which will create a paper tally of the votes cast at the precinct, also known as results tapes. For early voting, tabulation occurs at the county board office at the end of election day, not at the voting site. At the end of every early voting day, the tabulators are simply powered down. Election officials will sign the results tape and post a copy for public view. Observers may witness the procedures and take pictures of results tapes. Finally, election officials will then gather results tapes, USB drives containing electronic results, ballots, voting applications, and other election materials and transport them to the County Board of Elections under strict chain of custody protocols. Appointed observers from all parties, abiding by the rules, are welcome at the voting site. Election officials believe in the transparent conduct of elections. On behalf of all election workers in the state of North Carolina, thank you for volunteering your time to participate in the elections process. If you have questions, contact your County Board of Elections, or email the State Board at elections.sboe@ncsbe.gov.